Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Melbourne Independent Filmmakers podcast. I got a special guest here today from out in LA. This is Steven Shea from Abyssmal Entertainment. It's a Los Angeles based alternative media company founded in 2002. They create internationally award winning short and feature films, music videos, web series, documentaries. And some of their clients, Rockstar Energy Drinks, NASA, Virgin Megastore, Corona, and just to name a few. So let's bring Steven into the show. Hey, there he is.
Hey, Eric.
Good to see you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
How are things out there in Southern Cal?
It's wonderful. Doing good. The weather's clearing up finally, and so it's nice and warm out. Yeah, it's been
You
great.
got the much needed rain. We're getting it here right now too. So
Oh yeah, we traded.
yeah, very nice. All right. So listen, for our listeners, our viewers, why don't you start? Just tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey. You started here in Orlando with your production company, and then moved out to LA a few years ago, and you've had a number of projects show at the MIFF. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I have. Yes. Yeah, I definitely raised in Florida. I was a Keys kid, grew up in the Florida Keys, and then lived in Orlando for 15 years before moving out to California. I've been to the MIFF many, many times. Love it. It's my favorite festival in Florida for sure. And we started Abysmal in 2002 with our first feature film, The Night Owls. So we celebrated 20 years last year,
Wow.
which is pretty exciting.
Wow, that is,
And
yeah.
yeah, we're very successful in Orlando. But when the film incentive program went away, it got really challenging to produce in the state after that. And so made our way to California, but still come back every year and see everybody and look forward to hopefully making more productions in Florida as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask what was the impetus for the move, figuring that was probably it. That was the major reason.
Yeah, it was a bummer. I mean, we had a pretty good foothold in Florida and did a ton of work, but when the incentives went away, I think the last year we lived there, I didn't do a single gig in state because it just got way too slow and so we wanted to expand the company and it just kind of made sense to move to Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you got to, I don't want to say put up or shut up, but LA is the place to be, right? I mean,
Yeah, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. I don't. Whereas as opposed to incentivized states that are, one new governor and everything changes.
yeah, I mean, you hear a lot about Georgia, and Georgia's doing a lot of good things too, but um, LA didn't just sit on their hands and not do anything. They're offering quite a bit too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, so what are your, let's say you started the company in '02 and the MIFF started in '98. Do you remember one of your first project to get in the MIFF?
Oh man.
Would that be Hoodoo for Voodoo?
It probably was Hoodoo for Voodoo, yes, because I met Terry Cronin at Spooky Empire. Terry Cronin, who runs the MIFF,
Right.
at Spooky Empire in Fort Lauderdale. We were promoting Hoodoo for Voodoo when it before it came out. So I would bet that was probably the first thing that played there. Yeah, because we played Hoodoo, and then Doomsday County, I know, played there, and a bunch of our shorts and music videos have all played there.
Right. Now,
Surviving SuperCon, our documentary, played there most
right.
recently.
And
Um,
so back then, where were they showing? They were showing at the theater here, were they? Had we already
I
moved
think it
into the?
was. I think it was at the. Well, I don't know about Hoodoo for Voodoo because that would have been around 2008, 2007, 2008.
Okay, that was probably at the
Um,
theater. Yeah, that was at the Oaks. Yeah.
mhm.
Okay, because the early days, they bounced around a few places before they
Oh
got
yeah,
that theater. Um,
yeah. And the Oaks is wonderful.
yeah, I mean that was just yeah. Well, it's a whole nother story that I'll probably do a podcast on later. Um,
Yeah,
so you've been to a number of festivals outside the MIFF, I'm sure, and of course Comic Cons. I know you go to a lot of those for your
I do.
company.
Yeah.
Um, what is the value for a filmmaker of a film festival nowadays? What makes a good film festival for a filmmaker?
It's I really love a sense of community with film festivals, and especially when you start making consistent content and you're submitting to festivals consistently. You like going back and seeing people and meeting people and festivals are all about networking, and your end goal is always to sell your project or get distribution, or some people do it to collect leaves, and collect awards,
Mm,
which you can do as well. And but I mean, I really love what I love about the MIFF is the community element of it. I mean, every time I go back, I run into everyone I know, and everyone remembers you. And it's Melbourne's such a great tight knit community that to have a home based festival like that, it's really endearing, and it's like a family. You get to go experience your family every time you go back to it, as opposed to going to like a Sundance. And I've been to Sundance, and it's
mm.
nothing like that. You don't know anybody, and it's very cold and off putting. And so it's kind of that warm and fuzzy feeling you get coming back to the MIFF is what I really cherish about it for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. And I always thought, you don't become a great filmmaker on your first film. You need room to grow, and you got to show your films at other places before you can, possibly even think of submitting to a Sundance or
I don't
something.
know, Eric. I think I peaked in my
You
first
start
movie
right.
and went down, just went
You
down
just
from there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some who do that, and boy, we hate
No.
them.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like wow, their first film. You hear about it, it's like geez. But I think like you hear about it in music a lot. Bands don't get a chance to put out a few albums and grow.
yeah.
I
One
don't.
hit
I
wonders.
think it's similar for a filmmaker, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're always, if you do a successful movie, then you usually get to make more movies. And if you do a movie that's unsuccessful, then it's harder to get the next one made. So you're always trying to do something successful for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Let's go. Let's see some of your. I'm going to pull up your website here.
Sure.
Let me get into that. And that should be guess one. I'm going to put it in. There we go. Um, so let's click. There we go. So I really like your website because I mean, it's very visual. Number one, too many times you see all these words, all these, it's just like
Sure.
cluttered. But you've done a really good job here with this site.
Thanks. We
Um,
do a lot of different things. I mean, it makes it easier when you can do lots of different stuff. So some months we'll have more video work, or some months we'll have more photography work, or right now we're in production of a feature. And so that kind of takes up all your time, depending on what's going on.
right now, this let's see. This is your newest project here, Isla
Yes,
Monstro. What is
Isla
that?
Monstro. Yes, Isla Monstro is an R-rated sci-fi animated comedy um, about a guy that drunkenly falls off a cruise ship and wakes up on an abandoned island in the Caribbean that he soon discovers is overrun with mutants from a failed DARPA super soldier experiment from the late 70s. And the island's been abandoned by the US government since, and no one knows it exists. And he gets this insane idea to turn the island into a 4-star luxury resort, which goes viral on TikTok and suddenly alerts the government that this island is still here. And so the United States has to try to sweep the island under the rug while not causing a major international incident with all of these mutants they've created. So
Oh my, that
it's pretty
sounds pretty.
crazy.
Yeah, I
It's
like it.
huge. It's really big, which is taking a long time to make because we're making it all internally. We're animating everything internally, and so I spend every day drawing and animating now. I think for the rest of my life for this movie.
Oh, so you're doing the animation too?
Oh yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
everything. Abyssmal's doing everything 100% in house. We've recorded, let's see, 35 actors so far for it, and I mean, yeah, there's over 40 characters, 80 locations, and 100 extras, and so it's a big movie. it just
Wow.
it's a
So
lot of work. But during the pandemic, I ended up pivoting to animation because we got locked down here really hard, and
right.
so everything was shut down. The industry was shut down, and so I was like, well, I'm going to be stuck in my basement for a couple months. I might as well learn a new skill. And so started self-teaching myself animation and took tutorials online and learned the software and started a new animation arm to the company, and then booked a few animation clients and
Okay.
shopped around. We developed about 5 different animated series during the pandemic. We were shopping that around. This was our most elaborate one that we had developed a lot of content for and a lot of characters and location designs.
Mm-hmm.
And you shop it around to a bunch of studios and everybody's interested, but they all say no. And so then I was like, well, we have all this work already done. We should just expand this and make it into a movie. And then myself and James Schrader, who's one of my best friends, we grew up in the Keys together. Uh, he's now the face of a major brand, Dr. Squatch soap, which is all over the YouTube and
Right.
everything. A really successful soap company. But we wrote this script and we wrote this big, epic, insane comedy sci-fi movie that now
Great.
we're in the middle of.
Now, one of these tabs up here I went to earlier showed me the people actually in the studio. Do you remember which one of these tabs was
If
which
you click on that official website, visit the official website, it has a bunch of behind the scenes pictures on it. They're
in
not
the
working.
narratives? Or
No, oh no, on that page you were just on.
go back, you
Click
mean?
if you click on animation at the top,
Oh, okay.
or you can just go to ilamonstro.com.
Oh, you know what? I think I have that. Do. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's some behind the scenes down there. If you click on BTS. And we haven't announced half the cast yet. We've only announced a few of the cast. We still have all the big name actors that
Ah, there we
we
go.
haven't
Okay.
announced yet.
Oh, there's more coming for this project. You're
Oh,
not
all the big. I mean, we have a lot of really big names in the movie, and so
okay.
but we haven't announced them yet because we're still finalizing cast and everything.
Uh-huh. Look at that. So this is this your studio here?
No, no, that's actually it's Skybound Entertainment. They're
Okay.
a comic company and animation studio. They have a show called Invincible that they're doing right now, and
Mm-hmm.
so we recorded at their studio where they're recording Invincible for Amazon.
Okay. I
And then
recognize
we have
him. Jay
That's
LaRose.
Jay LaRose. Yeah, he
Yeah.
lives in Orlando. He's a Florida-based actor.
Oh, okay.
He's
Okay.
currently on the Righteous Gemstones. He's one of the characters on that show.
Oh, we
But he's
lost.
done a bunch of different things. He's a good buddy of mine.
Let me. I don't know why we lost you on that. Yeah. Um, yeah. That's exciting. That's great. And that is a really interesting premise. I think you could
It's
have a lot of
crazy.
fun
Like
with that.
it's a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
definitely.
and we have a lot of different elements to it right now. We're working on. We have a comic book coming out. We have a lot of merchandise and trading cards and
Uh
T-shirts
huh.
and hats and stickers and pins and stuff. And it's a big undertaking, but it's exciting. It's a big, colorful world, which is a lot of fun to work in.
Absolutely. Great.
So I'm
Uh,
sure we'll be bringing it to the MIFF when it's
there you
done.
go. Yeah. That's yeah. So this year, I know you said you're not going to make it, but maybe next year you'll have this
Yeah, I don't think it's
something
going
like
to be
this.
done in time this year. I think
Yeah.
our finishing time is probably like by November. We're hoping to finish the movie because
Hmm.
we're deep in animation right now, but it's a lot of work. We probably have another 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean, I think a
before
lot
we're
of people
done.
think, oh, these things because you're not shooting live action or actors, that you have to get everybody together and do it. But they think this is easier, but it's not, is it?
It's well, actually, I think it's a lot easier than live action. It's
Oh, okay.
just I don't. Our entire crew for the entire movie is 6 people.
Well, that's
So
true.
if I had 60 people, I could go a lot faster. But doing something more low budget and internally, we have 6 people, so it goes a
Right.
lot slower.
Right. Okay.
Um, and we don't have a giant animation studio doing it. It's just me. I'm animating everything, so
Right.
it
Okay.
takes a little bit longer for sure.
Here we have you over at. This is an old red carpet. I think you did a music
Yeah,
video
we
at the
did.
MIFF
Yeah,
at the Indian Temple.
yeah. Shot a music video there for Prita Chopra,
Uh huh.
the Stronger video, and then
Right.
we'd also
Yeah.
done another video that we shot in Melbourne that Tiffany Dion, the other actress there, starred in.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Good old days.
oh yeah, we
Good old
still do
days.
lots of music videos. We just did 3 music videos a couple months ago,
Uh huh.
so still we shot them here. But yeah, still do a lot of. I mean, we do all kinds of stuff.
Great.
Like to stay busy.
Yeah. Absolutely. You definitely are. So that's all right. So anyway, I think that's all I have. I want to
You
go ahead.
I have a really cool MIFF memory. One of my favorite things that ever happened to me at the MIFF is we were there with the movie called Rockabilly Zombie Weekend,
I remember.
and we after the screening, like myself and some of the other filmmakers and actors all went down. We went to a bar down by the beach, and I can't remember what the name of the bar was, but we were all hanging out at the bar playing pool, and then walking out on the beach and ran into a sea turtle nest hatching,
Hmm.
and got to watch all some of the baby turtles climb out and go back into the ocean. And I definitely remember having to hold back a couple of the actors that were drunkenly trying to steal the sea turtles. But that was a really beautiful MIFF moment. Things that you can't get at every other film festival, because at the MIFF you have the beach right there, and you have so many cool elements to it
That's right.
that it's awesome.
There is some unique aspects to this. Um,
Absolutely.
let me get you back in here. So let me just make sure everybody knows. We've got our late deadline coming up on June 4th. So we are one of the most inexpensive film festivals in the country, I'm sure, at $20. And on June 4th, it goes up to $30. So for all of you out there considering submitting, there's the website on Film Freeway to get it in and get it judged. And who knows, maybe your film will be up on the big screen here at one of the best theaters in the area. So it'll be, don't wait, save $10.
Do it. Do it.
All right. Well, Steven, I appreciate you being here, and I
Yeah, of
wish you
course.
all the
Thanks for
best
having
going
me.
forward, and look forward to seeing your next project here at the MIFF, hopefully in 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely
All
be
right.
there.
Take care. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.